Hi everyone, this is the chart for the new moon that we had today in Sagittarius, and this energy is going to be strong for the next few days. And a new moon is when the sun and the moon are together conjunct. So you see they are together here in the 34. It's in line 2, and it's in the beginning of Sagittarius. Very close, we have Mercury and Venus also in Sagittarius. And this is a new energy. We have been very impacted, you could say, of the energy that's been in Taurus and in Scorpio with the nodes and the eclipses that have been there for the last 6 months. And now the energy is moving on. Sagittarius, a new moon is also a new start, a new seed. And together with this, we have Jupiter that is going direct. It's been going retrograde in Pisces and now it's moving into Aries. So that's also an energy that is forward moving and expansion energy. So from here, I want to go and look at the gene key chart because there is something powerful with seeing what the snapshot of the new moon is in terms of the gene keys. So here we're keeping the same time, the time of the new moon, and you can see here that the sun is in gene key 34.2. We don't see the moon in this chart because the only moon that we have in the gene key chart is the design moon, and that is 29.5. And I would say, however, because this is an event that happens between the sun and the moon, so somehow I feel that the attraction sphere is important when we have full moon or new moon. And the archetype that we have here in the attraction is the water goddess. It's water over water. It's the 5th line. And when we have the Sagittarius sun, which is fire and moving forward and expanding and being optimistic, there is something here with the 29 that has so much water energy and devotion in it that I feel like there is a dialogue between the masculine energy, and here in the hexagram we have heaven on the bottom and thunder on the top, the trigrams, and here, like we said, water over water. So it feels like a masculine fire spark up here, and here we have more of a feminine archetype. And it's telling us that in our relationships right now, the important thing is that the heart is really in the commitment of being present, putting your heart into it, devoting yourself to it. And that also means that there might be some relationships that we need to let go of. There has been, like I said before, that long period of Scorpio and Taurus that's asking us to simplify. What do we value? What needs to stay? And what needs to die? What do we need to let go of? And here in the new phase, it's asking us what is staying? How can we recommit to that? And how can we bring our whole heart in? And the 5th line is powerful, and it can include a lot. It sees a lot. It understands a lot. What's in the heart of this chart is the alpha archetype, the 7 in a 6th line. So here our heart is all about inner guidance. So when it comes to the compass right now in our lives with this new moon, it's asking us to listen to the heart and to listen to the inner guidance. And that inner guidance, 6th line, it's also very far reaching. So it feels like listening to all the layers, like listening to the body, listening to the emotions, listening to spirit and soul, and also listening to our logic, all these things together that have to do with us moving forward. There is definitely an opportunity to work on matters of the heart. And it seems like the remedy here is to be present and breathing and letting go of the fear of rejection. And how do we do that? Well, the remedy in the 4th line of the vocation or the core is gentleness and to soften. So soften and be present and allow everything that's there, everything that comes up in this interplay of the masculine and the feminine, everything that comes up as we're tuning in deeper to that inner guidance. And I also like that the law, or you could say the guideline for this new moon, has to do with the universal love. And it's in that 1st line. So it's like a foundational energy of acceptance, universal love, and remaining innocent. Whatever happens in the world, it's to remain neutral, innocent, compassionate. And it also speaks about not preferring something over something else, but to have that, an inner equanimity that makes you have that stance, take that stance towards life, towards people, towards everything. It's not this kind of human preference. Oh, I like you and I can love you, but I can't love you. And there's also the geometry between the evolution in gate 20 and then the core wound of vocation in gate 20. So definitely it speaks both about the challenge to stay present, to stay in right relationship with the second line there, and then how that actually also is the solution or the remedy right now. And the two last things I would like to mention with this chart is that when it comes to our more the mental realm and part of our triggers and our defense mechanisms, we have fifth lines here. So there can definitely be some misunderstandings, even conflict, and maybe you can interpret a lack of respect or somebody's very much in their head. So when it comes to the Eden loop between the IQ and the EQ, here the recommendation would be to soften and come into the heart, and with the fifth line, include your vulnerability. Instead of being right, instead of convincing the other, or instead of like just cutting off because you think that you're smarter or something, to actually dare to show some vulnerability. That's the true leadership here and now. So the intent of that conversation, of that interaction, together, respect. So simple. So love and respect is really what we have here. The inner guidance is our guidance. And then we have a few of those activations that have fourth lines. So our core stability comes from tuning back into the heart, feeling into intimacy and freedom. And that's connected with our everyday law. So the overall law has to do with universal love, and the everyday law, what we remember every day for the next 2 weeks, I would say, until the moon changes, right, will be tuning in to the heart and zooming in and out. When it comes to the 17, it knows how to zoom in and out. It knows how to not get stuck in details, not get stuck in opinion, but to have that kind of overview and coming in and coming out without necessarily making conclusions, at least not conclusions that create separation. And I feel a little bit of that, like a pre-taste of 2027, because you can see that we have the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is the same cross as we're going to have 2027. And with all this fire energy, with devotional energy, with possibly a lot of fifth line mind, but understanding and starting to know how to use that as true leadership. And the law is love, as usual. So a lot of individuality, and an individuality that has to do with our uniqueness and our inner compass. But how can we tune into individuality without being selfish, without being busy and not hearing anything that's going on the outside, but having that, again, the right relationship to our inner truth and also to the world around us. That's a lot, but that's the energy that is very present right now. When we look at the body graph, we see that we have the channel of the tantric channel here in the sensing circuitry of discovery. And with this tantric channel, whatever you say yes to is asking you to go in completely until the experience is over. Very important. You can see how defined we have the G center right now, and it asks you to know who you are, where you're going, and what love is. And then we have this pure manifesting generator channel 2034, connecting our sacral, our life force to our throat, to our expression. And that's important here, to not just be busy for the sake of being busy, but to be present, to be grounded, to not be too much in the head, and to anchor in our breath, and to, I would say, honor our friendships, the people that have been there for us, the people that are transparent with us, the people where we feel intimacy, not the people that like where we feel like either we are like a victim or there is dishonesty. That's not the things to anchor into right now. Yeah. Let me know if this resonates and if this is helpful moving forward.